It's horrible to normal people. It's beautiful to them. It's the same thing for the bankers. They're psychopaths. They've interbred psychopathic traits with each other for thousands of years, and they call themselves another species. The eugenicists in all their literature, and they are. They are psychologically and spiritually. It's like the Morlocks and the Eloi. H.G. Wells admitted that was a analogy or a parable of life. And you're blind to them, just like a woman. The guy puts a gun to her, and she gets in the car, and she would be better to scream and yell, and he might even pump a round into her, but generally they don't want to get caught. They'll let you go and run. Or even worse, guy pulls up in the yellow Volkswagen. It's Ben Bernanke. Hey, get in with me, honey. I'm wearing a suit. These guys in suits are safe. You get in the car with them, and next day you're chained down, and he's biting chunks out of your back. You see? And so that's what they're saying. They're saying, get in the car. Well, we're now in the car, and they pulled a gun out, and they're saying, now, listen, you're signed on to our derivatives, or I'm going to shoot you. Well, you better just knock the window out of the car. You better try to jump out. You better attack him. You better grab the steering wheel. You better run it off the road. It doesn't mean that you're going to be able to even get out of this now. But at least you're going to run the car off the road, and he's going to have to shoot you, and you got a chance of getting away. Or you can go to the shack. And I know America, just like with Nazi Germany and the Soviets and the Chinese and all of it, you want to go to the shack. And you're not going to wake up till Ted Bundy, a.k.a. New World Order, has been raping you for about 2 weeks and biting chunks out of you and putting cigarettes out in your eyes. Now, I know that's what you're really looking for, and I know you like government killing 200+ mil last century, and so you've allowed it because you won't admit these are psychopathic, hardcore criminals. Okay? Only a full awakening to the full nightmare gives us any chance of beating these people. And that's why I don't mince words and I don't play games. And that's why I don't even worry about my own life, my own name. I don't have fear. You know why? Because I realize it's all a trick. It's a game. We don't have a future. They're already jacking our water, our food. Most of us are dead already. The studies are showing most of the women being born now have got dead eggs. You think there's sterilization now. Wait till about 10 years from now. See, it's a mathematical, societal, historical fact that if you allow corruption to grow and if you get rid of checks and balances in government, whether it's Rome, Germany, or the United States today, that you will be absolutely and totally and completely enslaved. Because even if you have moderately corrupt people that get away with corruption, over time, the more avarice-filled and cunning get into all of those positions. And then you get a Mao, a Hitler, a Stalin, a Fidel Castro. And we've seen Hugo Chavez transform completely into a lying dictator with staged elections and arrest and the shutdown of political speech. And there's a flotilla of laws I'll get to later in the broadcast where just outside of law, they are shutting down free speech, total internet tracking. I happen to have here, and to my knowledge, no gun dealer has put this out. We actually have the ATF letter directly from a gun dealer known personally to yours truly, where they command them to surveil and report on their customers outside of law. And this is basically indentured servitude. It turns them into confidential informants. And so you're ordered to be their informant. Similar to some of the sections of the Patriot Act where they order you to surveil people and then not tell anyone. And then if you find out that the FBI has broken into your house without a warrant under sneak and peek provisions, then you can't tell anyone that they've broken in. Well, that's basically what this is. The ATF saying, you now work for us. You're like a crack dealer we've busted. And it's outside of law. And if this is put up with, if people don't stand up against this, and I got to tell you, it even takes courage in this police state for the gun dealer to give this to me, and it's a testament that these letters haven't come out to date, and that tens of thousands of gun dealers have been sent these in the last few weeks, and that none of them have the courage to even leak it. I mean, you need to see the gun dealers come out and say this is illegal together, or next they're going to be telling you to do even more, like they did in Phoenix and other areas, where the government comes in and says, hey, you are going to ship guns to these people we tell you to and videotape the whole thing. And the people are like, well, I don't want to do that. And they said, you better do it. And they did it. So this is all part of, like the mafia, coming to your grocery store and saying, you're going to start paying me a cut. And instead of beating the person's brains out with a baseball bat, There's not a lot of mafia in the South and Texas and places because in the past, people would kill you. In the North, folks put up with it as soon as immigrant populations came in from Eastern and Southern Europe who were accustomed to that, and the predators would prey on people that had been taught how to bend over. But here in Texas, you come into somebody's place, they don't care. They're just going to kill you. I mean, in the old days, my grandpas were nothing special. They weren't the toughest guys in the world. Well, maybe they kind of were. But the point is, you know, they were the types of people that just, if somebody did anything to them, they were very nice and friendly. You were going to get your head stomped in, and if you pulled a gun, they were going to kill you. Now, that's what old Texas was. You see, now in America, the mafia comes, the bombers of Oklahoma City, and they tell people to do this, and everybody just grovels. We need to legally do something about these criminals that have been caught shipping guns into Mexico to now blame the Second Amendment and execute this. Now, I got Ted Anderson here, and Dillingpole's coming up, but I have to get him on about 35 after, because I've got to cover this financial news with Ted at the end of this segment, the start of the next. GDP at 1.3 growth, that's a complete joke with Cook numbers. But with inflation, I mean, that means we have a negative growth rate of about 8%. Gold soars, Dow plunges. Apple has more cash than the U.S. government, exactly how the bankers wanted to position us. Consumer confidence at two-year low. Q1 crashed to just 0.4. And again, they're teaching us right now that the dollar's going to die and we're going to go into a depression because we didn't raise taxes. We're all being taught how it's our fault and the global crash will be the $14 trillion we owe, not the $1.5 quadrillion created by the bankers. And I wanted to bring Ted Anderson up here today with a Friday gold deal that's going to run through the weekend, but also to talk about the economy. But Ted, before we go to break, people need to protect themselves. Gold and silver, it's only gone up. You bought it months ago when it went down a little bit. You're running out, and it's already gone up some because you're selling stuff that you bought as it went back up. It's time for folks to take advantage of the gold and silver deals and protect themselves from the banksters to some extent. I know folks wish they would have bought silver when it was $5 an ounce or gold when it was $300, like I told you. Now, Ted, tell us where gold and silver are right now.
Yeah, gold hit a high today of 1633.80. Silver hit a high of 40.49. I mean, gold has hit a high it's never seen before now. It's getting to be comical out there, Alex, what's going on economically. All right.
Stay there, Ted. I want to come back and just briefly give folks the different silver and gold offers you've got today, and it will all go up on Monday, so I would advise everybody to not wait, get involved in gold and silver right now. We'll be right back. Stay with us. Okay, we have gotten the secret because it's not been released, and they're telling the gun dealers not to let the public know. Now, the ATF comes and says, hey, we don't have a law, but we're going to order you that you cannot sell somebody more than 2 guns in a week, 2 or more guns, and then you have to call us like it's a crime so we can then go harass them at their homes. And this has now begun. I've talked to people who, of course, are scared, who go buy 2 rifles because they're on sale at Academy, Walmart, local gun shop, whatever the case is, and the ATF and FBI come to your house. If you buy, now it's even 500 rounds of ammo, they're coming to your house. Like you're a criminal, and they're saying, oh, because of the carnage in Mexico when it was the government that shipped the guns into Mexico. So they don't care they got caught running this false flag against the Second Amendment. They're going ahead with it. And I was given this document by a Texas gun dealer who I know personally. I'll leave it at that. And I've got Aaron Dykes back there doing a report on it. We got James Dillingpole coming up, popping in to talk about 4 new climate gates. One of the biggest is Polar Bear Gate. Also, NASA's had to admit that the heat is going out of the atmosphere into space, and it's the sun. The Hadron Collider found that it's true that it's ions out of space that are causing cloud nuclei and are mainly associated with heating. Again, it's premeditated fraud from these people. And the whole house of cards is falling in on them right now. So we're going to be talking to Dillingpole in a moment. I want to go back to Ted Anderson. Ted, market plunges at open on GDP debt issues. That's even a cooked GDP number of 1.3 because they're using cooked inflation numbers. If you average it for real inflation, we're down, gross down by -8. Economy grows at sluggish 1.3. Consumers pull back. Ahead of Obama's jobs councils moving jobs and economic infrastructure to China, including their giant multi-billion-dollar-a-year X-ray business. In fact, now we're hearing that a lot of the naked body scanners are going to be China-made. You got to love it, man. Frying us in in microwave ovens made in China. And then it just boggles the mind sometimes to realize that this is going on. So that's some of the financial news we've got. I want to get into what Ron Paul's been saying about all of this a little bit later. But briefly, Ted Anderson, what are today's gold and silver offers? I want to be very clear for people. I am proud that I've been promoting gold and silver for 14 years. And in that time frame, again, silver's gone from $5 to over 40. Gold's gone from 300 and something to, what is it now, 1,600 and something today, exploding upwards. And it's not that gold and silver have really gone up. I mean, I've got articles here today where all over the country they're robbing every form of scrap metal, bronze urns thieves steal 100 bronze vases off headstones at cemetery. There's grave robbing going on, railroad rails being jerked up. I mean, this country's in a depression. And you got almost 50 million people on food stamps. That's 50 million in soup kitchen lines every day, but it's digital, so they're hiding it. And it's all been planned. And I just hope people will get into gold and silver today. So, Ted, tell folks the gold and silver you have.
Yeah, right now the francs are at $354. Of course, you get Bob's full-year subscription for that. It brings us to about $975 gold. That's like almost half a spot. British sovereigns are at $444. Alex, that American Dream video, I was listening to a show on the way in. They're talking about, well, why don't we just pay the principal off? Why are we just talking about the interest on debt? You can't pay the principal off. It'll cause an economic crisis. It'll cause the depression like you've never seen before, because we have to continue to go into debt because it comes through the bank. It's simple as that. You need to have this American Dream video. People are crazy not to order this thing. Right now, $85 gets you 2 silver dollars. You know what's happening in the silver market right now. You get the video, and it's like a presentation that's entertaining. At the same time, you understand the system by the time it's done, and you're going to be able to hand it off to your friends, and they'll want to watch it too, just because it's that kind of entertainment. And, you know, it's like that, I don't know, it's one of the best tools I've found to wake up people that I have out there. I want everybody listening today order it.
And Ted, because of inflation, real inflation and commodities going up, thieves strip live copper wiring from 14 schools in town. I see this every day. Start of school year threatened. 2 men arrested for stealing guardrails from roadway. Thieves ransacked D.C. firehouse. And meanwhile, the government's telling us inflation's not up, we're not in depression, and crime isn't up. I mean, there's robberies happening at coffee shops I go to, restaurants. I mean, here in Austin, there is crime exploding. They're raising taxes, laying off cops. The cops that are left are writing tickets for revenue generation. This country is going to hell in a handbasket, and Obama's answer is go deeper into debt with the bankers by signing on to their derivatives. Now, we've got the deal where you get 2 silver dollars, the free book and free video and shipping. That's an insane deal. Folks should get the American Dream package, as it's called, because that's the name of the film. But what are some of the gold and silver coins? And we're going to James Dillingpole. What are some of the other special radio listener specials that you're going to hold through Sunday night?
Well, very popular is the American Eagle right now, currently at $1,744. The bags of survival dimes, they're the old junk silver bags. They're currently right now at $3,083. You got to realize it almost takes 31 dimes, new dimes, to buy one constitutional silver dime now. That's how bad things are getting. There's a lot of things that I have right now. I would just call the British sovereigns and the francs are nice because they're small, and they're, you know, it's more of a smaller piece of gold you can use to trade for groceries, this type of thing. The big 1 ounce coins, I mean, right now they're at $1,700, Alex. When we first started working on them, they're closer to $200. You know, back then you could buy, it bought a lot less. Now it buys a lot more. You need fractional pieces. So probably the franc at $354 is the best buy.
All right, Ted. Well, the toll-free number for folks to call to take advantage of this deal is 800-686-2237, 1-800-686-2237, 800-686-2237. And there'll be brokers there throughout the weekend. If you want to get silver, you want to get gold, tell them it's the radio specials. Those are the best deals you're going to find. And there's a whole plethora, a list, a roster of special deals they've got, but all the deals are great. 800-686-2237. Thank you so much, Ted Anderson.
Yeah, thanks, Alex.
Ted, I almost forgot. So what is gold exactly right now? I know it soared to all-time records again today, breaking its records of last week, but what is it right now?
Well, let me just